Friday morning conversation with
Maren Morris.
Maren just told me that she was given permission to say the A word coming up. Who gave you that permission?
LT. So I'm assuming I can say it.
You can say whatever you want.
We didn't really do a radio edit of this song, so I might have to do one after this.
What could she
interview.
insert instead of the A word?
The F word?
No. You're going the wrong way. No.
Okay.
No, you have absolutely, you can say whatever you want in this show.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I just wonder who's passing out coupons because I would like to say things on this show too sometimes that I'm told I can't.
I know. I
Yeah.
have a joke with the A word.
What do you mean?
Like I have a morning corny saved, but it has the A word, so I haven't done it.
Oh, that's good. But Maren's like cool. That's the difference in her and us. Like she has the liberty to say that.
Okay, well, let me know if I ever
Maren,
make it.
thank you for coming to the studio.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
We had this planned, and then the massive snowstorm hit, and so we talked to you on the computer.
Yeah,
Which
this
one?
is cooler.
Is it? And
Yeah.
Jimmy Robbins is here. Very famous, much acclaimed songwriter is here.
Yeah.
Jimmy, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
You wrote this next song with Maren that you're going to play?
I did.
And so talk to me, because we've talked to Maren a lot, but you've written a ton of songs. I could list off all the songs. But you wrote The Bones too together, right? Didn't you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Talk for a second about Circles, because this song, how does this idea come up in a room with you guys?
Well, this was your idea.
Yeah.
You kind of came in wanting to do this.
Yeah, I
and-
brought the title, but I didn't have it like fully sussed out yet. So you guys helped me with that. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that we made it very personal to me. It was
Was-
going to go on your record, but
It was for my record
Yeah.
originally.
Was there a fear of getting too personal, Maren, where you're like, if I get so personal, people won't relate to the song if it's specifically about me?
yeah, I did have that just because I feel like we try to keep most of the songs we write more emotional than personal anecdotes. But I feel like with this one, it just didn't matter. And the second that I did the vocal for the demo, it was like, I feel like people relate to this, even though it is so concretely about how I got to Nashville from Texas 10 years ago. But I mean, it's hard for me to say because I wrote it. I guess if you've listened to the song, let me know if you relate to it.
Jimmy, when you're in a room and an artist or someone like Maren, who is known not only as a songwriter but also being a performer, if they have a direction, do you just kind of go along with it if they're just like, I got it, let's go?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my job is to help somebody tell the story they want to tell. And I try to be pretty fluid and pivot to whatever they're going for. So I just try to make it as good as I can. But still, at the end of the day, she has to sing it. So I could love it and she could hate it and you would never hear it. So I need to make sure that it's what you want to say.
Yeah.
Do you ever just say something and then you're just searching for a word that rhymes? Because I feel like that's what I would be doing.
Yeah.
That's like 95% of
Rhymezone.com.
job.
Buy stock.
Why didn't we buy stock in Rhyme Zone?
Have you guys
Just been
played this
sick for
song a
long
lot
time.
together?
This is the
Yeah.
second time we've run it through.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Since we wrote
Once in the
it.
hallway. And then
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
we're very honored then. Well, thank you.
Aw. Jimmy's I don't want to sound like shocked, but like he's a great guitar player. I mean, everyone knows him as a writer, but every time you play guitar, like Greg Kirsten, my producer, is like, I am trying to replicate what Jimmy has done on this demo. So good
Thank
job,
you.
bud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what is Maren like to write with?
Maren is, she's a treat to write with. Every day I'm excited when I see that coming in. She usually comes in with an idea of what she wants to do, and it's just my favorite thing when Maren goes to sing the demo vocal. Like, I could like the song, I could think it's great, I could think a lot of things, and then she steps up, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh gosh, this is a Maren Morris song now. And, I mean, I feel like melodies and stuff always change when you go in there just based on how you sing it. And that's probably my favorite thing, just watching it come to life with, I mean, nobody sounds like her, you know?
You've written, let me read some of these here. Beachin',
Yeah.
which
It's me doing the beer can sound on
you're
Beachin'.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a literal sound that you.
Yeah, it was a Coors Light, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning.
The Bones, which you and Maren wrote together. Circles Around This Town. Let's see. I mean, there's so many. I'm not going to read them all. Half of My Hometown, which is Kelsey and Kenny Chesney. Let's see. Thomas Rhett. You've written with Thomas. This is your life, Jimmy, so just stand by, and I'm going to read all your songs here. Sure Be Cool If You Did, Blake Shelton.
Love Triangle, Raylan.
Love Triangle. Whatever She's Got. We Were Us.
Yeah.
Come on. You're rich. That's what I'm trying to get to, Jimmy. You're rich.
Hey, man.
And my first #1 song, I Could Use a Love Song,
Yeah.
we wrote Yep.
Oh, really? So how many songs have you guys written together that have been singles? Those 3? Or more than that?
Is
Those
this our
3
third?
singles, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like to say, and it'll happen someday, but I don't feel like we've written a bad song, and we've written for a long time. I mean, even our like average ones are still, I still go back and listen to and like.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, you're all right.
Yeah.
How hard is it to get on the books to write with you, Jimmy? You pretty in demand these days?
Well, no. No, my wife runs my calendar, so I just go where she tells me. So I don't know if it's hard or easy. It's probably not hard for you.
No. But I remember the first time I wrote with Jimmy, he had already had like 5 number ones. So I was sort of the favor in the room, like getting to write with Jimmy. But yeah, I mean, he's just so good. I think the reason people always come back to Jimmy in the room is because he's so fluid, like he said, like meaning that he finishes your sentence, which is the lyric. And he's just so easy to write with, and you can go to his place, you can bring him out on a bus run. And I just feel like, yeah, you're just a good energy to have around, even if we don't get a song that day. It's like, we're buds.
Yeah.
What was your first number one, Jimmy?
Sure be cool if you did.
Blake?
Yeah.
What is that like, the first time you're flying up the chart as a songwriter?
Dude, it was crazy. I had been in music for a long time. I had had a record deal and moved to New York, moved to LA, and came here. And I had only been in Nashville for like 6 months. And that was one of those rare times where the song was written, got recorded 2 weeks later, debuted 3 weeks after that, and then went number one like 3 months after that.
Oh, that's not even the real experience of
No.
fighting up the
yeah,
chart.
that's
Wow.
cheating. It's cheating. But I paid my dad back for all the years that he lent me money, so that was good.
Let me say this about Maren. On Saturday, May 7th at Austin's new arena, the Moody Center, Maren is part of our 2022 iHeart Country Festival with so many other artists, Luke Bryan, Zach Brown Band, Cody Johnson, and more. And we'll tell you more about that later. But Maren, my question for you is, with everything that you have done in the past few years, do you get nervous anymore for a performance?
Yeah, I think that'll always stick around. It's just not something that I think I can ever outgrow, and I don't know why. I mean, it's just sometimes it's good anxiety and it just gives you the adrenaline, but then yeah, I mean, I remember really distinctly when I did SNL, I was performing 80s Mercedes, and in the middle of it, I blanked, and you can't tell if you watch the video, like it's probably 2 seconds of silence from me, but I completely forgot all my lyrics, and then it came back, and I didn't have a meltdown. But I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, but that's always going to be around.
Amy, is it comforting to you at all to know that somebody who is so good at what they do still gets nervous doing what they do?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I don't feel like such an idiot.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that you still get... let's take SNL out of it. When is the last like huge performance and you're like, oh man, there's something on the line here?
When I did the Houston rodeo 9 months pregnant, I was more nervous about going into labor on stage, but it was a lot of variables that evoke anxiety. I mean, the stage at the Houston rodeo rotates, and it's slow, but it's rotating, and I'm a beach ball, and I was just afraid for an hour straight that I was gonna fall off this spinning stage and have my baby on where the cows jump around. But yeah, that was probably where it was like, there's a lot on the line here. I really need to keep the child in.
How long after that show did you have your baby?
It was like a week later.
It was?
Yeah.
Was that your last show before you had the baby?
Yeah.
What does
Oh,
the
yeah.
doctor say when you're that close to giving birth and you have something you have to do, like do a concert?
I had to get a doctor's note to be able to do the show and not cancel. And I brought my doula with me. So that was the only way I could get my doctor to sign off on me going and doing that show. And it was like I didn't stay overnight. I was back in Nashville by 10 p.m. So yeah, it was a lot, but I'm glad I did it because those photos still make me cry and laugh because I'm just so big and covered in rhinestones at the rodeo.
Jimmy Robbins is here too, who is just a massive songwriter in town. Wrote Circles Around This Town with Maren. They played it a minute ago. Jimmy, do you know how many number ones you have?
Yeah. I mean,
What is it?
It depends on your chart, but like 10.
You have 10 number ones.
Yeah.
Well, your first one we talked about earlier was the Blake Shelton song "Sure Be Cool." Which one was it?
Sure Be Cool If You Did,
And
yeah.
what is your last number one? Oh, he's struggling. He's got so many he can't remember his last one.
No, I think it was The Bones was the last one to go.
The Bones was such a rarity because it was so massive in every lane. I would be listening to the country station. If the bone, okay, I've heard the song. Let me put the pop station. If the bone, let me put it on the AC. If the bone, the hip hop, yo yo yo. It's like a weird, yeah. It's like all the different. Was that your first song? Because I know we've talked about the Maren. Is that your first song that crossed over and was a massive pop success too?
Yeah, definitely to that level. I've had some songs on the pop charts. I did a song called "This City" for Sam Fisher, and that was on the pop charts at the same time, but not at the level of.
I know
the
that
Bones.
song. How does that song go?
City's gonna break
The
my
city's
heart.
gonna break my heart. The
Yeah.
city's. I'm singing it. It's his song, but I knew I knew it. Do you play that? You grabbed your guitar.
Yeah, it was like that was because it was me on guitar on that. That song was just the what made it to the radio was the demo that we had done that day, and then they cut another version and went back to the one we did, just at like an Airbnb on a kitchen table in L.A.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The beer can, and then the
Yeah.
Airbnb at a kitchen in LA.
Yeah.
I just realized both those songs, like The Bones and The City, you're like such a fan of the hammer-on
I only
chords.
know how to play a couple things.
Yeah, it was like, that's almost like The Bones too. Like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, you got a thing.
I got a thing, the tenths.
Maren, after having success outside of country, do you feel like you've got to put some songs on a record that possibly could cross over, or do you feel like you don't chase that at all?
I don't really chase it. It's amazing if someone at the label in New York is like, I think we could work this at Hot AC or whatever, pop. But I don't know. After doing a song like The Middle, like I didn't go into it thinking The Bones would go to any other lane than country because I felt like The Bones was a country song. But you just don't know how listeners are going to feel. And it was just getting playlisted in different genres. So I feel like, yeah, it's not something you can really chase. And I personally just feel kind of fake if I do that. Not like shading anyone that wants to chase that down. But for me, it just like never feels right to go in the room and be like, okay, let's write a song today, but let's shop it to every possible genre and make sure it can wear all these hats. And so, yeah, but with this new record, for instance, I mean, it's country, and but yeah, it's always an honor. I feel like the songs that are country that have crossed into pop are epic. I mean, like Lady A's "Need You Now," Taylor Swift, like Shania Twain songs that have crossed over, FGL, like those songs were like massive. The ones that are able to be in both, so
And they're
very
also
cool.
like doors into country music. Like that's my favorite part of like when Rascal Flatts would do it back in the day.
Yeah.
Or it's people discovering you and then going, well, let me see what else this is about. And then when they're seeing what else, they're also being exposed to other artists that are similar to you. And so then they get to come into our world for a bit. Like I think it's great for the format.
I do too. And I think it kind of raises the bar on everybody when there's just, because I just don't really look at things at genre so much anymore. I think it's just like, does this feel good? And I think that's how people listen to music for the most part. It's like, this isn't country enough. Well, it's like, what? That's so subjective at this point because it's just so many things. Sorry, I've had a lot of coffee this morning. So.
Let me finish on this. The Humble Quest is the name of the record that's coming out March 25th. What does that mean, Humble Quest?
For me personally, it's the journey to me kind of getting back to my roots, and it also felt applicable to the world because I feel like the world has been very humbled the last 2 years in this craziness, and so I just wanted to create something that was positive and made people feel good. And I didn't want to, not that there's not a place for sad songs, I love them, but I personally did not want to inject more of that into society. I wanted to put art out that would alleviate that, if that makes sense.
Jimmy Robbins, you are leaving here. What do you do the rest of the day?
I'm going to go write a song with Brandy Clark and Sasha Sloan, and then I've got to cut a vocal on Brett Young at 4, and then I've got to see my kids.
That's a day.
Yeah.
To cut a vocal on someone, explain that to our audience. What does that mean to cut a vocal?
Well, they'll come to my studio and sing a song, and generally we'll do multiple takes, and I'll kind of comp it, which is compiled, pick lines here and there. And Brett doesn't. He's a great singer, so it's not.
What you're saying is Brett has to sing a song 72 times to get one take.
It's
That's
about-
what I heard.
It's 72
That's what
is
I
the
heard.
average.
Yeah, that's the comp.
Well, Maren, always great to see you. Thanks for coming
Thanks, Sam.
by. You definitely didn't have to, but the snow got us last time.
I'm glad to be here. It's nice to work again.
And Jimmy, great to meet you. And thanks for coming up. We rarely get a big star that comes with a big star. Most big stars have ego, and they're like, I'm not going to be in the same room. But not you, my friend.
Humble Quest.
Humble quest it is. All right, Maren Morris and Jimmy Robbins, thank you guys.